All right, so you can see with this worksheet that basically you want to have lighter Zentangle designs here and darker Zentangles here. I find it easiest to do the same thing throughout and then kind of just add on to make it darker over on this side. So you can see over here, like I've started this, I have my super light, and then I repeated that design all the way through, but I added a lot to this one to make it super dark. And the same thing kind of goes with these. Now it doesn't have to be a perfect thing, but you get the idea of adding or starting out with a little bit, adding a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And then this way, this is how you create the difference in value. So if I were to do this, okay, so I would just start, I like to always just kind of start with this one. So I'm gonna leave this one light, simple, thin lines. They're kind of spaced out. That creates a lighter design, all right? So we're gonna start on making this one just a little bit darker. So easy way to make things darker is just make your line a little bit thicker. And I like to do kind of a pattern. So if I have, you know, thin, thin, thick, thick, I could go thin, thin, and then thick. But then that design doesn't quite feel finished. So maybe I'll go in and do something like this. Just adding that second double line, thickens it up, adds a little bit more variety because now we have lines that are close to each other, but it's not the same throughout. So now I've created a little bit more of an interesting pattern. All right, so that one's gonna be darker than this one, so I'd say that one's good. Kind of matches up with these as well. So let's go on to the next one. So I, because I like to do what's easy, I would just continue this. So now I've kind of made it uniform throughout, but now I need to make this one darker than this one. So let's go in and maybe I'll actually add another circle here. Don't love it, so I'm just gonna repeat it up here and then be done with that one. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit more structure. Should be this one. All right, and then let's do this. All right, so I'd say that that one's darker, but maybe I'll still add in maybe a couple dots here. All right, I'd say that that's darker than that one. Now this one, I'm gonna kind of do a combo between these. All right, so I like this. right. So in that section, I'm going to leave a couple of those whiters. So I have my super light, simple lines with some thicker and some doubled lines. And then I have those same lines, but I've made almost all of them thicker or all of them double with some added textures in there. This one, even more textures, but I'm still leaving room for white space, just a little bit, with lots of thick lines. And then this one's all thick lines, all sorts of different designs, patterns, very intricate details. So you can kind of see how you get that progression from that light to dark. And so you just kind of build up as you go across. And then you can kind of practice maybe what a project could look like for you. So I always like starting with some sort of structure and then build designs off of it. And I'd continue to build off of that. So there you go. That's some Zentangle practice.